when people talk about successful entrepreneurs, successful businesses, like there are 3-4 names that come to our mind. Of course, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, there are a lot of biographies written on them.
Hmm.
They somehow were at the right time. They did everything that they could, and at the right time, right opportunity, with all the brilliance that they had, gave all in, and that's why they are successful this way, right? Why do you think they are successful in their field? I mean, they are the marquee people, right? They are there. From who's 3 years old into this journey.
If I have to, look at some of these people, the common thing which is their perseverance. Okay, and that's one of the most important thing in a startup world.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today, I am very much honored to host Ankita Kanodia. She has started her own company 3 years ago. She's a very, very busy person, but she spends some good time in sticking to her habit of reading as well. Ankita, welcome to the Book Talkies podcast.
Thank you so much, Kaustubh, for having me here.
Ankita, I want to understand this. Your company's name is Artistic. I know you were in a service industry for quite some time.
Yeah.
How easy and difficult was it for you to transition from a day job to now I'm sure you're working 24/7 to build your business? Yeah. So how was it? How was the journey for you?
So coming from that service mindset, it was very difficult, to be very honest, if I'd say, because you work for 9-10 years on something else, and then suddenly you see another life, the hustle, which is completely different. There is no working hours as such when you are you have something of your own. It's a different universe, I would say. Like I got incubated at multiple incubators. That's where I got in touch with a lot of other founders like me, and that really helped me that I'm not the only one who's struggling in this, or who's because you would feel, what is it that it all appears very fancy when you are starting, or you have that idea, right? That eureka moment. But then when you actually start doing it, you see the challenges. There are so many things which come up, and it's a bumpy ride actually. So when I started to other founders, I understood that I'm not the only one. Whether you are 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, you are at some point, you have certain challenges to be addressed.
So Shark Tank USA, the original series, Mr. Incredible, right, who sits at the center, his Kevin O'Leary. I'm referring to one 30 seconds clip that he went to Harvard, school, and he spoke with the batch there. And he said, you guys are not valuable to me because you're being trained to be as consultants. And consultants don't own any responsibility. You consult and you move away. I am looking for someone who would actually stand up, own your actions, and perform. Where even during our B-school days, right, we were taught how to be good consultants, how to speak well, how to present well. When you become an entrepreneur, all that thing goes down the drain. It's like, what is the outcome that you give?
And referring back to college, I would say there wasn't, at least back then, there wasn't a lot of focus on becoming an entrepreneur or getting on this founder journey.
I want to go back to the Eureka moment you mentioned some time back, right? When did it come to you that you should start Artistic?
So I actually, I'll go a little back. I am an artist. Like I always been inclined into creative space. I always loved painting. And it was always a hobby for me because never thought of it as a career. Parents would, it never occurred. It never occurred to me to pursue anything in that. And then COVID happened. I started just like that. I just started painting. I took one challenge. I said, I'll paint for 100 days. I want to stick to one habit. Then because you have to, like Instagram is such where you have to, if you have to grow, you have to also keep on engaging with other people. So I would be engaging with other artists like me who would come, comment on each other's photos, and I was not the only one. Other people were also taking, like, these type of challenges were coming up. Like, some cooking was happening, some art was happening. So I came in contact with a lot of artists like me who were doing it as a part-time thing only. And that's where I was like, okay, now I've created these 100 pieces. What I am gonna do with them, it's just gonna lie in some corner. I might as well try to sell it. That's where I realized that, everyone was appreciating this is good. They would buy it. And I was like, why not? Let me just try and sell it as well. So that's where I realized that you can't just go normally and sell. Like, if you have certain brand of your, first of all, for most of the people, it may not be a full-time career. So full-time artists, again, they are struggling at another level. So that's where the entire idea came into existence. I went online. I just tried to sell, like, where all I can list. I couldn't find anything very substantial apart from Etsy. It's ETSY, and it's a US-based company. It's primarily more focused in the US, and now they've started. Now I think very recently they've started promoting in India as well. So that's why I thought that there's nothing like that which exists. Whatever exists are only taking very renowned artists. If I am a renowned artist, I may have other channels of galleries and other things as well. But I am somebody who does not have it. I'm not doing it as a full-time thing. I am doing it as a hobby, like content creators are these days, right? How you can earn from something which you are passionate about. So that's the entire idea. Eureka moment was that only. I was just talking and it just hit me one day. Why not create something like this?
Fantastic. Can you give us some idea about what is this? What is your business?
Just to put in a very, very simple terms, we are a marketplace which connects artists or artisans to buyers who are looking at buying these unique pieces or unique products. So we have been operating in D2C space. I have more than 2,000 artists who are associated with us, who are selling on the platform or taking custom orders. Now, in this moment, we are sort of pivoting to another journey. Last year in December, we got couple of corporate deals. That gave us an idea that this is also, there is a huge scope. You don't see it on the website because we are just right now working it on the background, on researching, trying to understand the business.
Fascinating. So with that, because you told me that, this book, Before You Start Up, which is written by Pankaj Goyal, is something that helped you in your entrepreneurship journey. So how do you still spend time in keeping yourself maybe getting into that habit?
So I usually, I am like the old school type. I need a book. I have a Kindle also, but I can't read it on that. So I need a book. So I would be carrying one book at least with me wherever I go, and I will read it whenever I get time. So this book, actually, I read it long back before I put down my papers. So this was a book which made me think that I need to do this. Pankaj Goyal himself, he had a startup which didn't work out, unfortunately. But from his experience, he has written this book which covers various areas before you are starting up. Right? Before you are incorporating, what are the things which you have to consider, right from the problem which you are solving, how unique it is, how it will impact your own personal life and the lives of people around you, what type of partners or what type of employees you should look for, and what are the challenges you would face. Just making, prepping you for the challenges, because challenges are gonna be there when you are starting something new.
Okay, title itself is very fascinating, right? Before you start up. I started completing the sentence. Before you start up, these are the 10 things that you should look for. That's what that came to my mind.
That's exactly how it is. It is before you start up, what all things you need to do, whether you prepare yourself financially, you talk to your family, how you're talking to your family, how you're convincing them, because that's also like your personal life is also going to be impacted when you do a startup.
Which was the most impacting pointer or suggestion that Pankaj gives in his book?
I think there were a couple of pointers which I feel that were good in this, but I think There is a segment where he talks about the personal life, which I, you get an idea, you're excited to work on it, but you don't realize how it will impact your own personal life, who will support you, because a lot of times it happens, right? Your friends make some plan, and then you have a meeting or you have a deadline, and you're not able to, because it's not a job, right? You cannot just leave it like that. It's your own thing. Anything which you don't do is gonna impact directly. So that's there are things like that you may not have. Your lot of friends you will lose in the journey, because people will not understand, because they are not in the same boat. They will not understand why you are always busy, and then your family will not understand. If you're coming from a traditional family like how I am, your family will not understand why you are leaving a well-paying job and just doing something where you may not earn anything at all, and which is such a risky thing, because I come from a family where people have always been पढ़ाई करके और job लग गई वाला scene. So this is something completely new, and I think that is something which was impactful for me, so that I went and talked to everyone. So that's one thing which stuck to me. The other thing which it also covers is how your co-founder, when you're looking for a co-founder, because you cannot, you can do a lot of solo entrepreneurs are also there, but it's always easier when there is a partner who's part of the business with you. It's also the emotional balance which the partner or the co-founder gives you, right? There would be times when you'd be questioning, there would be times of failure, there would be times of rejection. So when you have somebody who is on the same journey as you, get that support emotionally as well. So that's also one thing which stuck to me. I started as a solo entrepreneur, but now I have a co-founder. I'm lucky to have found him. His name is Heron, and he's from Ahmedabad, and he's handling the tech side of my business.
Fantastic. So, I mean, that's good, right? I mean, that's a very tangible outcome that you can get from reading something. Fantastic, right? You said that Pankaj Goyal, he started his own entrepreneurship journey, but it was probably not successful for him.
Yeah, it was.
But his lessons, his learnings are helping entrepreneurs like yourself in excelling your business. So that is
right.
That's good, right? Is somehow contributing back to the founding community.
Yeah. For startups, I think it's very important not just to look at the successes of people, because that's a fancy word. You also have to look at the failures or the things which they have done wrong, because there's a lot of learning which comes from there, and you don't repeat the same mistake, because if you can learn, you have very limited time to prove yourself, right?
Right.
And when you can take somebody else's learning and his mistakes, and you can implement it on your own business, and not do or not repeat those things, it's very important. So I think as a founder, and speaking for other founders as well, this is something which we look at. So fiction, if I want to watch something, I want some masala, in today's time I go on Netflix and watch something. But if I want to get some information, then I resolve or go to books or some blogs online or something like that.
Absolutely. Along with this, before you start up, any other books that you would like to recommend budding entrepreneurs?
Yeah, if you are you're in the journey as well, this book called For Traction, that's also very good. It talks about all the channels which exist, when you are reaching out to your customers. So it covers the various type of marketing, let's say, and it's all like the traditional ones and the modern ones also, like your social media marketing or your email marketing, or just your cold calling. So it covers all the type of marketing channels which exist, and the book states that these are the only channels which are there. So if you read this, you will at least know a bit about all of these, and then whatever areas or whatever things you want to test it out. So because when you start a business, you don't know what marketing channel will hit or what will become the preferred channel for you. In this book, they tell that just do a test. Take a limited amount of, let's say you take a 10,000 rupees and you put a little on all of these and see which one gives you a better result. Then you again go back, whatever you have shortlisted. So let's say out of 18 channels, you have 4 of these are working for you. Others are not working. So now then you go deeper in these. Now you put a little more on these 4 channels and then see which one is giving you one. So there will always be 1 or 2 channels only out of the entire universe of reaching out marketing channels for customers. So how
so fascinating. One of the last questions, okay? When people talk about successful entrepreneurs, successful businesses, like there are 3-4 names that come to our mind. Of course, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Okay?
Yeah.
And of course, there are a lot of biographies written on them. They somehow were at the right time, they did everything that they could, and at the right time, right opportunity, with all the brilliance that they had, gave all in, and that's why they are successful this way, right? Why do you think they are successful in their field? I mean, they are the marquee people, right? They are there. Who's 3 years old into this journey.
If I have to, look at some of these people, the common thing which is their perseverance. Okay, they and that's one of the most important thing in a startup world, that you have to perceive whatever is coming your way, and you have to keep going on about it. So I saw one diagram the other day on LinkedIn. It was like, there is a point A and there is a point B, and there are like 3 points which are your failure points. So if you start from a point A and you go to a point, you go to a next point and you fail there. Okay. And then there is another graph which shows that there is a point A and point B, and there are 3 failures, but you have crossed that path. So on the first one, if you have not, after first failure, you gave up, right? You wouldn't have gone to the end of it and haven't had succeeded. But in the second one, it shows that, you had to, of course, go through 3 or 4 failures, but you eventually made it to the end. I think that's something which is common across these people, that they just kept on going, and they did whatever was needed to be where they are.
That's a very, very valid point. Ankita, I'm very happy to know that you have taken a leap of faith, that people just think but don't execute. All the best wishes. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.